Had a good bye week. Thought we got a lot of things accomplished, things we needed to continue to keep working on. I thought we tried to use it in the right way, get some guys, try to get them back healthy, and then obviously having opportunities to continue to improve as a football team. So good bye week from that standpoint, understanding we've got an extremely tough test in front of us with SMU coming in here 5-0, or we're going there 5-0. You know, they've played great football all the way across. As you looked at their schedule and what they've done, really got after South Florida last week. Really, the game was over pretty early in the game, in my opinion, and so they're playing extremely well. Very balanced in what they do offensively. I think Shane's playing lights out, very consistent, throwing the ball down the field extremely well. Always has had a great touch, throwing those deeper balls, and he's got two really good targets. I mean, Brochet, I feel like he's been there forever, but just continues to keep making plays. Robertson is a phenomenal deep ball guy, has made a ton of plays for them. I think he's got already over 500 yards of offense or receiving yards. So, and they're running the football well. So, obviously, offensively, they're hitting on all cylinders right now. As you look at them defensively, you know, they've really changed up a lot of things, giving you a lot of different looks, doing it with really good people, and providing a lot of pressure. They've been tough to run the football against consistently. There's been some games in there that people have had success, but overall it's been difficult to run the football. And then, you know, what they're doing in the secondary causes problems. So we've got our work cut out for us. We know it's going to be a great contest. We're excited about the opportunity. And Coach Dykes and his staff, they do a tremendous job. Know a lot of those guys on that staff and consider those guys friends. And so it's going to be a great contest, and excited about getting there.
When you look at the West Division of the American, do you think it should be mentioned, you know, with other divisions across the country that are among the toughest in college football?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, as you look at the American Conference top to bottom, and it's done extremely well. You look at just the West side, and you know there's some beast over there. You know, when you start thinking about Cincinnati, they're on our schedule, but obviously on the other side of it, the east side of it with Cincinnati and Central Florida, those guys are killing it right now. Temple's playing extremely well. You know, Tulane has played kind of lights out all year long, really, in my opinion. I think very well coached, very disciplined team, and they know exactly who they are, and they play to that. You know, Houston's ultra talented, just like always. You know, even with all the stuff that went down last week, they still come out and beat a really good North Texas team. And you know, Memphis doing what they're doing, Navy doing what they're doing. That was a great game the other night. And then you've got SMU and us, and all of us kind of fighting that same battle. So it's an extremely tough conference, top to bottom. The Power Six part is real. And, yeah, I think we ought to be mentioned along with all the other top conferences as you look at us.
With the non-conference schedule that you guys had, that was very difficult. How much did that kind of prepare you guys for the American?
Well, I mean, this is our fifth game and our fifth undefeated opponent on our schedule. So we haven't faced anybody that has lost up to this point. So everybody's coming in with a lot of momentum and a lot of confidence. You know, you looked at our preseason, it was extremely difficult. You look at what is left on our schedule, and it doesn't get any easier. I think it actually gets tougher. So, I mean, you know, try not to look ahead, but I think order-wise we got SMU, and then I think we have Navy, and then I think we have Cincinnati, and it just keeps going on and on. So every week's going to be a war. We've talked to our guys about that, understanding what this schedule is and what our conference is, and understanding every week you got to be ready to play, and we're going to have to fight for 60 minutes.
Is there – I'm trying to think – the bye week, I know you can't make the schedule, but did it come at kind of a bad time coming off a big win like that? Would you have rather carry momentum into the next week? Or?
Yeah, I don't know. I see the good and bads to it. You know, obviously we got a big win, and you'd like to carry some of that momentum with you. Hopefully we did that throughout the bye week. Yet I thought the bye week came at a good time because we're done with preseason. Get us a chance to get a little bit healthier, from those guys that are banged up, and hopefully get those guys back. And when you've been pushing as hard as we've pushed throughout the summer, fall camp started August 1st, if I remember correctly, and we've been, really grinding from that point forward. I thought it came at a good time from a sense of allowing guys to kind of refresh a little bit, refocus, and then understanding conference plays right here upon us. We got to be ready to go. Would have loved to carry the momentum part of it, yes, but overall, I'll take it where it hit.
Is there a balance that you have to have in practice during a bye week of trying to keep the momentum, but also making sure that the guys are staying healthy?
Yeah, and you want to, obviously, you got to get work done. Well, there's still so many things that we've got to continue to get better at. I mean, we're a growing week by week, in my opinion, football team. So that week, speaking of last week, I mean, we've got to continue that growth part of it. So, we did some good on good stuff, make sure that we're getting the best looks that we can get, give ourselves a chance to go against a really good defense and vice versa, and try to challenge each other a little bit. But you're walking the fine line there. You're trying to get guys healthy. You're trying to get guys back. You don't want to get somebody else hurt. So you walk the fine line, but you got to get work done. I thought our guys did a good job of taking care of that.
During that bye week, what's the balance like? Do you focus on yourself that week, or do you kind of look at that as an extra week to focus on SMU as well?
Yeah, we did a little bit of both. The first couple of days really more on us. Obviously, we as coaches are already working towards the next opponent, which is SMU here, but really didn't even start putting a lot of their stuff in until a little bit later in the week, and started kind of giving them a little bit of it. And then obviously we'll put the rest of it all in today.
And that kind of those first drive struggles your defense had, you kind of credit it a lot to like jitters and emotions. Is that something you're able to work on during the bye week, or just kind of?
Well, we're addressing it and doing some things in practice to try to help that part of it. Yet, our defense has played extremely well all year, and so I'm very pleased with where we are at defensively. Got to continue to be attacking, continue to be aggressive, and got a lot of faith in what those coaches and those guys are doing right now.
Anyone? From watching film, you see the success SMU's had all of a sudden this year. What's the biggest difference you see from this year if you compare kind of why you're preparing for them last year?
If you go and they had a good football team last year, and they got a lot of guys that have come back. In the last couple of years, they've been able to take advantage of a lot of really talented transfer guys that have come in. They've got everybody back offensively last year, except for like 3 or 4 guys, and those 3 or 4 guys were replaced with, really quality, high-producing transfer guys. And so I think they've got 31 on their roster right now that are transfer guys, and those guys are heavy contributors and doing great things for them and in important spots. And so, it gives you a chance to really take a jump, and they've taken advantage of that.
So a lot of it just experience in.
I think it's experience and talent. I mean, your quarterback was the starting quarterback at the University of Texas, and now he's the starting quarterback at SMU. You got a receiver from West Virginia that played extremely well that's kind of doing the same thing. You look at what they've done defensively. There's, a guy from Illinois, a guy from UCLA. There's a guy from A&M. I mean, it just goes down the list. So, anytime you're bringing in and being able to plug in talent like that, it's going to help you.
You mentioned Shane. You also have a quarterback from the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
What did those guys bring playing in a conference like that?
Well, I think they bring confidence and bring experience, and give you an opportunity to continue to keep growing as they want to continue to keep growing within what they're doing. Whatever the situation was that guys are leaving, they were looking for something different, something new, and I think both of those guys are probably enjoying the experiences that they're having right now.
Coach, you've had a wild schedule. We go from Michigan State all the way to San Jose State. Now you're coming off the bye week. Do you like the fact that you're not having to travel cross country for this game?
Well, it does help. When you start crossing all those time zones, it definitely factors into what you've got to do. And so, SMU and us, we've been in a lot of the same conferences over the years. We've played each other quite a bit. There's been a good give and take back and forth in this deal, a good rivalry. The fan bases are always kind of connected, and so I think that's what's made this game such a great game over the years. Is you can throw all the schedules and the record's out, and this game's going to be a big game no matter what's going on, and so it's been exciting over the years, and I know it's going to be another exciting one this year.
One more. With them having so many transfers and whatnot, how much more of a challenge is that with all the weapons that they have?
Well, they got a ton of them, and they're doing a good job. Rhett's doing a really good job of spreading those things around. They're pretty balanced in what they do. I think they're averaging like maybe 288 or something like that passing, and 222, somewhere in that range, rushing. So they're keeping you off balance from that standpoint, keeping you being mindful and respectful of both scenarios, and so they've done a good job of handling that. And they, Jones back there running the football, he has been explosive at times, but he is tough to bring down. He runs with a load, and so we got to do a really good job of tackling and limiting those big plays, make them earn yards, and those explosive plays are the ones that worry you because they can pop open at any time.
You kind of got your own things going on here, but have you been able to see any of Dane playing in Canada?
I haven't seen him lately, and I always look for it on TV and see if I can find it, but I haven't got to see him lately. How did he do this weekend? I don't even know.
I think he's doing
He's
They
doing good.
won.
Yeah.
To see, I mean, you haven't seen it, but for him to have success in Canada, I'm guessing it's not a surprise.
No, not at all. I mean, I think Dane is I think he's a Sunday guy if given the opportunity, and he's one of those guys that just continues to work and drive. He's got an NFL arm and an NFL mind, in my opinion, and so he's a guy that, if given opportunities, is going to be successful because of the way he works and his confidence and belief in what he does. So it doesn't surprise me one bit. I'm really, really proud of him and what he's been able to do and his continuous drive towards his goals. And, Dane's like one of my sons, so I'm always cheering for him, and I know he's always cheering for us too.
359, 3 touchdowns, by the way.
Doesn't surprise me a bit. I mean, that's just what he does. He's going to operate at a high level, and he's going to take chances when he needs to, be smart when he doesn't, and again, I think given the opportunity, he can play anywhere.
Kind of goes without saying, but how important is it to get off to a fast start in this conference? I know it's his first conference game, so how important is it to get off a fast start?
Yeah, I mean, it's important because, I mean, we got to get off to fast starts in games. We got to get off to a fast start in conference because every game is vitally important. I mean, there's no one game bigger than the other. For us and our goals and what we're trying to do, obviously, you got to get off to good starts, and you don't want to be pushing right there at the end. So you get opportunities to take games, you got to go make the most of them, and you got to capitalize on that. This is going to be a tough one, obviously. I think, what are they, 24 this year? I mean, this week, first time since like 1986 or something like that. So there's going to be a lot of hype and emotion for them. I expect them to have an unbelievable crowd, and it's going to be a great atmosphere. But for us, we got to go in there with the right mindset, go in there attacking, and do what we do.
Any other questions, Coach? Thank you.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it.